Welcome to today's Coach's Corner. I'm Mike Van Hoozer. Today I want to talk to you about 3 different ways that you can show up as a leader, and it's going to continue the conversation that we had on the audio podcast of Monday Morning Moments regarding, do you even consider yourself as a leader? And we talked about on that podcast that some people don't think of themselves as a leader because they don't have the title of leadership. There are others that have a title of leader and they want to continue and grow and develop as a leader. And then a third category might be you're a leader and you're not having the results or the impact or outcome that you think you should have in being an effective leader. So today I want to give you 3 ways that you can, whatever category you're in, become a more effective leader. So the 3 things are this: to listen empathically, to encourage authentically, and to position purposefully. So let's dive into each of those and talk about what they mean. I think to listen empathically is really get to a deeper level of understanding. It's to rephrase the content of what somebody's saying and to reflect a feeling. And when you're doing that, you're not just parroting back, what they said, but you're making sure that you rephrase the facts from their point of view and kind of their perspective and reflecting the feelings. And so what this might look like when you're talking to somebody is, I understand that that's very frustrating to you and that you'd like to have more responsibility, or that's very important to you and I'll try to do a better job of giving you feedback around this topic. Those kinds of things are getting to a deeper level of understanding. And it begins with listening. Because I think so many times when people come into our office or we go to somebody else or on a Zoom call and we're giving feedback, whatever, it's virtual, in person, we want to speak and we want to give kind of the hot take or our advice, but we don't want to listen. And if we do listen, we don't listen at a deeper level and listen empathically. And we have to do that to get to a deeper level of understanding with people. And then we're able to communicate with them and understand and relate to them from their perspective. And then a common bond is formed and we can communicate better with them and there's better teamwork and they'll receive in turn the things that we want to communicate to them. So listening is just something I think culturally that we need to do a better job of in today's world. But when it comes to leadership, it's very important that we're listening and listening at a deeper level. And listening empathically can help you to do that. And you don't have to have the title of leader to be able to listen to another person and get to a deeper level of understanding with them. The second way that you can show up as a leader, whether you have the title or not, is to encourage authentically. And I think encouraging others should not just be a one-time occurrence. It should be a regular routine. And as a leader, you need to ask yourself, how am I encouraging the people around me? We often want to get to the constructive feedback and more constructive criticism, and we've done our best in working with organizations to get rid of that whole constructive criticism, but make sure that we're focusing on constructive feedback. But more so than that, giving positive feedback to others so that they'll know what they're doing right and be able to replicate that and continue that. And in studies we've done and in the workshops that we have, like our Invisible Hand of Leadership, we talk about the ratio of positive feedback to constructive feedback, and that it should be at least 3-to-1, and oftentimes an 8-to-1 ratio of positive feedback to constructive feedback. And we get so locked in on that constructive feedback that we don't highlight for them the things that they're doing right and to give that positive feedback. And so in making this a regular routine for you, you need to think about being consistent, being specific, and being timely in your encouragement. So not just broad-based encouragement like, hey, you're doing great, or I appreciate you, but it's being specific about that. In teams that I've led, a lot of times if we had a client meeting, I would say, when you redirected that question to the client and you asked this, that was really good. And I need your critical thinking in moments like that. And you bring a lot to the table when you do that. And so that highlights for them something that they're doing well and that you want them to continue doing. And it also encourages them for the skill sets that you appreciate about them. And moreover than that, the person that they are and the value that they bring to the team. And I think when we do that, when we're doing that in a regular way, and it's timely, it's consistent, it's specific, then people are going to be step into that and more likely to accomplish their best as well. So key question for you on that is, are you encouraging others, and are you encouraging them authentically? And you need to think about this from a specific, people that you have on your team, because everybody's going to receive that encouragement differently. And so some people may need different types of encouragement, or if you're doing it a lot, maybe they don't need as much. But how are you balancing that? How are you giving courage to other people? Because that's what encouragement is all about, and making sure that you're a leader who encourages others to step into doing their best. And in turn, you're going to get the best from them. And then the third way is to position people purposefully, or position purposefully. And the analogy we often give in our Invisible Hand of Leadership course is it's like playing chess versus checkers. In chess, all the pieces move differently, and you have to know the strategy and the strengths of those pieces to actually, win the game. Whereas checkers, it's more transactional and just move pieces along the board. And so when you're thinking about your team and your people, you need to understand their strengths and then assign the right people in the right positions to the right task. And leadership should not be just transactional, that you're just assigning tasks to people and getting things done. But it should be transformational, in that you're assigning the right people to the right task, and therefore you get the most value from them, out of them, and for them as well, as they continue to grow in their careers. And it's a transformational process. It's a transformational activity where the team, the organization gets the best contribution, and they grow in the experience as well. So positioning people purposefully and not just haphazardly is important. And the key to that is understanding your team's strengths and your individual strengths as well. I draw the analogy to being a point guard, which I played in basketball, and I think as a leader on the court, I often needed to take into consideration the strengths of my teammates. And sometimes they would want the basketball in a certain area, or would want to try to do certain things, and that wasn't part of their strengths or their skill set. And so I'd have to have conversations sometimes in mid-transition on the court and saying, I'm not giving you the ball there, but I'm going to give you the basketball down here where you're going to be most successful. And it would create an opportunity and not necessarily a turnover in that situation. And so the idea of setting up others for success is so important. And I think it's important as a leader that you think about these things and focus on them. And regardless if you have a leader, capital L role, or if you're just a leader of influence, as in your role in your organization, you're growing into that leadership title, you can have an influence on people and a positive impact on them as well. So 3 things to focus on for this week and into this year. Be sure that you're listening empathically to others, that you're encouraging them authentically, and that you're positioning them purposely for success. And I think you'll have greater impact, your team's going to be better for it, and you're going to grow in the process as well, because it'll create capacity for you as a leader as you raise up other leaders. So hope these encourage you today. Step into your leadership role. That's the key thing, is to know you're a leader because you have influence. And you're going to make an impact, whether it's on your sports team, in school, in your community, or at work. Make the most of the moments in your life and make it a great week.